Changing the resolution in Final Cut Pro isn't hard, but the interface can feel overwhelming if you don't know where to look. The process boils down to making sure your project settings align with your intended output. Let's dive in. Step 1. Open your Final Cut Pro project. This is where most people get tripped up. They assume that changing the resolution just means adjusting video preferences. But no, it's project specific. That's key. Resolution always gets tied to the project settings. Click on the Project Library in the bottom left corner of the window. This is where all your projects are listed. By default, your project is set to the resolution of the first video clip you dropped in. If that isn't what you want, you'll have to revise it. Find your active project and right-click on its name. A drop-down menu will appear. Select Modify. This is where you'll see options for frame size, frame rate, and rendering preferences. Tip: know your output dimensions before getting here. A common pain point is realizing after editing that you wanted a resolution like 4K, but your project defaulted to 1080p. Pro tip: if you're unsure, always choose the highest resolution your system can handle to future-proof. Click on the Video Properties section under the Modify menu. Here you'll see options for resolution like 720p, 1080p, and 4K. If you need a custom size, scroll to Custom and type in your width and height. Just make sure the aspect ratio matches. What if your footage doesn't fill the new resolution? You'll notice black bars or stretched visuals. Go to the Transform section, click on your clip, and scale it up or adjust it horizontally and vertically until it fits naturally. For professional work, keep in mind the frame rate too. If you filmed in 24 FPS, but your project defaults to 30 FPS, your footage might look odd. Consistency in frame rate is just as important as resolution settings. Hit OK to save your changes. Now your entire project recalibrates to match the new resolution you picked. But beware, rendering might take longer, so free up CPU resources by closing unnecessary apps. If your computer struggles to process high-resolution previews, change the playback settings to better performance instead of better quality. I'm guilty of overlooking this, which often results in stuttery timelines. Always test your changes by exporting a short clip. Go to File, Share, and export 5 or 10-second samples. Pain point: exporting an hour-long project only to realize afterwards that your settings were wrong. Pro tip for YouTubers: stick to 16:9 aspect ratios for seamless uploads. For Instagram, you might need square, 1080 by 1080, or vertical, 1080 by 1920 dimensions. Knowing your platform saves you headaches later. And that's it. Once you master this process, it becomes second nature. Final Cut Pro is powerful but quirky, so it's all about knowing where to look. Editing resolution feels less like a hurdle and more like a choice after your first few tries.